What if the people who were supposed to love you most never even remembered you existed? What would you do if your family erased you year after year while worshiping your brother like a god? Would you keep forgiving them, or would you finally burn the script and write your own ending? The office air still carried the faint tang of burnt coffee when Elara Vance finally leaned back in her chair. The glass-walled conference room had emptied an hour ago. She was 32 today. Senior brand director, the closer, the one clients called when millions hung in the balance. Tonight, she'd landed another account. But brilliance had its price. When the janitor passed by, Elara caught her reflection in the floor-to-ceiling windows. Dark circles bruised her eyes. Her blazer sat crooked on her shoulders. The city skyline glittered behind her like a promise she'd never quite collect on. In the elevator, she checked her phone. No missed calls, no texts, just work emails piling up like snowdrifts. Her birthday, she told herself she didn't care. Birthdays were for children, for families who lit candles and sang off-key songs. Still, when she pushed open the door to her apartment, the silence seemed too eager to greet her. The place was tastefully decorated, a life arranged with precision. But in the center of the coffee table sat a small chocolate torch she had bought herself that morning. A single unlit candle stabbed into its heart. She dropped her bag, tugged off her heels, and sat on the rug. For a long time, she just stared at the cake. "Happy birthday to me," she whispered. It wasn't the first time. Every year she tried to convince herself that this would be the one where they remembered. But hope, she'd learned, was the cruelest tradition. Her laptop blinked from the desk. A dangerous, gnawing itch. She opened it, pulled up social media, and scrolled. And there he was, Leo, her younger brother, their parents' pride and joy. Grinning, champagne flute raised high. Behind him a banner. "Congratulations, Leo!" Their father stood beside him, beaming with a pride Elara had never seen directed at her. Their mother, elegant as ever, eyes fixed adoringly on her son. Posted 7 hours ago, on her birthday, she scrolled further. A lavish catered spread, a custom cake. The comments, "So proud of our brilliant boy, the Vance legacy continues." Elara's chest tightened. They hadn't forgotten. They'd chosen. Again. Memories surfaced, each one a fresh cut. Her 10th birthday, waiting at a restaurant, her small cake drooping in the heat because her parents were late returning from Leo's soccer finals. Her high school graduation, the dinner in her honor hijacked by Leo's announcement about a prestigious internship. Her phone buzzed. Her mother's name. Against her better judgment, a flicker of desperate hope stirred. She answered. "Elara, darling!" Her mother's voice was bright, rushed. "So glad I caught you. We're planning Leo and Sophia's anniversary party next month. You're so wonderful at organizing. Could you handle the venue and catering?" The clock on the wall struck midnight. Her birthday? Already gone. "Mom, today was my birthday." A pause. Then her mother chuckled softly. "Oh, sweetheart, with Leo's big news, it just completely slipped our minds. You understand, don't you?" The words echoed. Slipped our minds. Her gaze flicked to her laptop, the glowing images of her family wrapped in joy. "Don't worry about it, Mom," she said, her voice strangely calm. "I understand perfectly what's important to this family." And for the first time, she truly did. The days unfolded with mechanical predictability. She wore competence like armor. But in the quiet moments, her chest ached. They hadn't forgotten. They had chosen. Then, on a Thursday afternoon, the mask cracked. Her phone buzzed during a strategy meeting, a family group text, one she wasn't usually part of. Curious, she unlocked her phone. The messages spilled out. "Dad, Elara just got that massive bonus. She should contribute to Leo and Sophia's anniversary gift. $15,000 at least." "Mom, absolutely. It's time she supported the family for once instead of just thinking of herself." "Aunt Claire, she's always been so self-focused. She'll complain, but she can afford it. A mistake. She wasn't supposed to see it." Her hand went cold. Support the family. For once? The irony was grotesque. She had funded herself since college. Leo had been buoyed by their parents' endless resources. And still, they saw her as a bank account. The humiliation burned. She stayed seated, back rigid, face a mask. No one could know her insides were fracturing. That evening, she stared at the text thread until the words etched themselves into her bones. She remembered her small victories, her promotion, her award, her condo. Not once had there been a banner. But for Leo, always. Her phone rang. Her father. Elara, he began, voice clipped. Your mother tells me you've been unresponsive. A contribution of 15,000 is reasonable, considering your bonus. You do want to support your brother, don't you? The audacity was staggering. No acknowledgement, just demand. She let the silence stretch. I heard you, and I'll think about what's reasonable. He wasn't used to resistance. You're being difficult. Family comes first. Family comes first, as long as it's not me. I'll let you know, she said evenly and ended the call. Her hands shook, not from fear, but from fury. That night she poured wine and sat on the balcony. She stared at the glittering skyline and allowed herself to feel it fully. The bitterness, the grief, the rage. They would never see her. She was invisible and less useful. The fracture was complete. And in the silence, Elara whispered a promise. Never again. Every ping of her phone made her tense. Another demand. She ignored them until the group thread lit up again. Dad. We've booked the ballroom. Elara, you'll handle catering. Budget's 30 grand. You'll cover half. Mom. Maybe you could plan the decor too. You're so talented. It'll give you a chance to contribute. Leo. Thanks, sis. You always come through. She read the words 3 times. Not a request, a decree. You exist for this. They weren't just blind. They were entitled. Her value was her wallet. She poured a drink and walked to the balcony. The city stretched beneath her. She felt the weight of years, the melted cake, the hijacked dinner, the banner screaming Leo's name, her bonus, now a family tax. The memories churned until they sharpened, until they became blades in her hand. They had taught her how to survive without love, how to stand alone. Now, she would teach them something in return, not through screaming. Her revenge would be quieter, sharper, the kind that carved scars deep into the bone. She returned inside and opened her laptop. Her eyes found the saved tab, a cottage by Lake Michigan, weathered white siding, a wraparound porch, windows that drank in light. Her cursor hovered. She imagined it. Walls painted in colors she chose, shelves lined with books she loved, a place untied to Leo's shadow. Her phone buzzed. Dad, we need your transfer by Friday. The words sealed it. She wouldn't send a cent. Her money, her choice, her life. She closed the chat, blocked the thread, and opened mortgage calculators. Numbers steadied her pulse, turned fury into focus. For the first time in years, she felt control. Owned. The next morning, she let her father's call go to voicemail. She deleted her mother's messages. When Leo texted, "Don't be difficult, we're counting on you," she typed one word in reply before erasing it. No. She would wait. And then they would see. But not in the way they expected. This was about rewriting the story. And the first chapter began. This is mine. That weekend, she drove north. No messages, no explanations. The interstate stretched before her. For the first time, her body felt untethered. She had a showing, the cottage. The realtor led her through the weathered front door. The air was dusty, tinged with old wood and salt. It's dated, the realtor said. Needs TLC. Elara barely heard. She stood at the bay window, staring at Lake Michigan. The water stretched wide and endless. It's perfect. Would you like to bring your family to see it? No, this is for me. The words tasted electric. That night she signed the papers. Her bonus went to the down payment. The risk thrilled her. The freedom was intoxicating. The weeks became a ritual. Weekdays, flawless director. Weekends, paint-smeared jeans. She scraped wallpaper, sanded wood. Each act felt like exorcism. She named the upstairs bedroom the birthday suite. She painted the walls a deep teal, the color her mother had dismissed. She hung fairy lights. On the door, a sign. Here, I am remembered. The transformation was in her. She stopped answering their calls. When her father stormed into her office, she met him with a professional smile. This is my workplace. You have no authority here. She escorted him out. The whispers that followed were about strength. Her revenge wasn't rage. It was removing herself from their narrative. By early summer, the cottage was transformed. The porch gleamed. The garden bloomed. She had built her sanctuary. Now she weaponized it. First move, she opened Instagram, a photo of the porch at sunrise. Caption, home, finally. The texts came. Mom, when did you buy a cottage? Why didn't you tell us? Dad, reckless. A waste. You should have consulted us. She didn't reply. Second move, financial. She cut off the auto transfers for Leo's expenses. When her mother called in a panic about his rent, Elara said, "That's not my responsibility," and hung up. The power of no was intoxicating. Third move, social. She hosted dinners at the cottage. Colleagues, neighbors, friends. Photos were posted. Each time her family texted, "You never invite us. Why are you hiding?" She ignored them. Silence was louder than confrontation. Fourth move, ritual. She circled her birthday. She planned a gathering, embossed invitations to friends, a local chef. But to her family, she sent nothing. Her phone became an archive of unanswered pleas. "You're tearing this family apart. After everything we've done, Leo still loves you?" The irony made her laugh. The best revenge was the calm, deliberate refusal to engage. Late one night on the porch, her phone buzzed. "Mom, we're worried. Please, just tell us when we can see you." For a moment, her chest tightened. Then she remembered the group chat, the laughter, the erasure. She didn't answer. Instead, she whispered to the girl she used to be, "They'll remember me now. Not the way I wanted, but they'll remember." The cottage was her fortress, her proof. And soon, the curtain would rise. Her birthday dawned clear and gold. She stood on the porch, coffee in hand. For once, she wasn't bracing for disappointment. She oversaw final touches. Strings of lights, linen tables, crystal glasses. The scent of roasted garlic filled the air. Friends arrived, laughter carrying across the water. She floated through it all, radiant. For the first time in decades, she felt celebrated. When the sun dipped low, someone snapped a photo. Elara mid-laughter, champagne raised, the cottage glowing behind her. Online within minutes. Tagged. "Happy birthday, Elara!" The ripple was immediate. Her phone lit up. "Mom, why didn't you tell us? We should have been there." "Dad, so this is why you've been ignoring us, humiliating us?" Leo, "Could have told your brother. Thought we were family." She slid the phone into a drawer. Tonight was reclamation. Dinner was served. Courses, toasts, song. When the cake arrived, its candles glowing, she closed her eyes and made a wish without bitterness. She blew them out. The crowd cheered. Surrounded by people who chose her, she felt power. Later, alone on the porch, she retrieved her phone. The group chat was exploding with screenshots. How could she do this without us? Doesn't she know how this makes us look? She typed one reply. "Funny, you remembered this year." Then she silenced the thread. The calls came next. Voicemails flooding with apologies wrapped in venom, pleading. Leo confused. "I didn't know it mattered this much. You should have said something." As if she hadn't been saying it for 32 years. She poured wine and gazed at the lake. Their noise was white noise. They were unsettled, rattled, begging for recognition. Her revenge had begun. Proof she no longer needed them. The next morning, she ignored the 39 missed calls. She made coffee, ate by the window. The quiet was intoxicating. At work on Monday, her father stormed in. "This stunt ends now. You don't air dirty laundry. Do you know how this makes us look?" She set down her pen. "This is my workplace. You have no authority here. Leave, or I'll call security." He left, sputtering. That was the moment she knew. No going back. She escalated. She stopped attending gatherings. Her absence became its own story. The final severing, her mother's syrupy voicemail. "Leo's anniversary is coming up. A contribution? 15,000? It would mean so much." Elara didn't call back. She wrote a check. To herself. She hired landscapers, bought furniture, added a library nook. Every dollar they expected went into her sanctuary. She posted a photo, shelves of books, a velvet armchair in the sun. Caption, "Investing in family, my own." On her 33rd birthday, the cottage was alive with warmth. Her chosen family toasted her. "To Elara, proof you don't need permission to matter." Glasses clinked. She had crossed the line. Then, headlights swept the lawn. Leo stepped out, clutching a gift. "Elara, can we talk?" Every voice hushed. She stepped outside. He held out the package. "I found this. Thought you should have it." Inside, a photograph. Elara at 8, grinning on a swing. Genuine happiness frozen in time. "I'm sorry. I know it's not enough. But you mattered." She studied the photo. For the first time, it wasn't anger. Something sadder. He hadn't erased her, but he had lived in the spotlight while she stood in the dark. She handed it back. "Thank you, Leo, but I already know I matter." She turned and walked back into the light, leaving him in the shadows. She had burned the bridge, and she didn't want it back. The invitation came, gold embossed. Leo and Sophia's 10-year anniversary gala. She RSVP'd yes. The ballroom glittered. Her family held court, radiating pride. Then Elara entered. Silence rippled. Heads turned. "Elara, you came." "Of course." During dessert, her father rose for a toast. "To Leo and Sophia, a decade of love, of family, of legacy." Applause erupted. Then Elara stood. The room quieted. "It's funny how we define family," she said, her voice conversational. "Some believe it's loyalty, others believe it's extraction. A child whose milestones are forgotten, birthdays buried." Her father stiffened. "Elara, not the time. Last year, on my 32nd birthday, my family gathered in this city for a party. For my brother. On my birthday. I wasn't invited. I found out through social media. Pictures of them celebrating while I sat alone with a store-bought cake. 32 years? And not once did they celebrate me." Gasps rippled. "My revenge wasn't to scream. It was to thrive without them. To buy a home they'll never enter. And tonight, I want you to know the truth. This is not a family. This is a dynasty of favoritism. And I am done being erased." The silence was suffocating. Then whispers. Guests shifting uncomfortably. "Enough!" Her father slammed his glass. "You've embarrassed us for the last time." "No, you embarrassed yourselves the moment you chose one child over another. I'm just narrating the ending. The damage was done. Cameras had recorded every word." The Vance image crumbled in real time. She left, walking out into the night. For the first time, she didn't feel like a ghost. She felt like the only living person in a graveyard of illusions. The next morning, the Vance name was trending. Clips of her speech went viral. Neglect, favoritism, a daughter erased. Her mother posted a smiling family photo. The comments were merciless. "Where's Elara?" For Elara, the aftermath was quiet. She focused on her life. Coffee on the balcony, runs by the river. Peace felt like a choice. Leo called. Showed up at her door. "I didn't know. I didn't realize how bad it was." "You didn't want to know. That's the difference." She closed the door. No guilt. Her mother left a tearful voicemail. "Blood is blood. We can start fresh." Elara deleted it. She wasn't interested in fresh. She was interested in free. Invitations to family gatherings stopped. Their social circle shrank. But Elara felt lighter. She painted her walls, filled shelves with books. She built a life stitched with small joys. She found belonging, not from blood, but from choice. She hosted a dinner in her apartment. Colleagues, neighbors, friends, they toasted with cheap wine, told stories. When someone said, "Elara, you make this feel like home," she nearly cried. That was family. The people who saw her. One evening, she found an old photo of herself as a child, standing awkwardly at the edge of a family picture. She whispered to that girl, "We made it. They didn't see us, but we did." And for the first time, she felt whole. The revenge was never the speech or the collapse. The true revenge was this: a life where their absence no longer mattered, a future where her joy didn't need their permission, a story that belonged entirely to her. On a warm evening, Elara stood on her balcony, the city glittering below. She thought of the silence, the erasure, the years of starving for scraps. She wasn't the ghost child anymore. She was Elara Vance, whole, unshakable, and finally free. She smiled, because the best revenge was living a life so radiant they could never dim it again.